She, like most of those that come and join the Sunflower Hour family, is no stranger to ALS and what it can bring for the individual and their loved ones. She has been with the ALS Association's Greater Chicago chapter since the very beginning. And I mean that, since the absolute beginning of our chapter. As one of the very original board members, when the chapter was first created, Christine has continued to advocate for ALS and the chapter for so many years. We were trying to think back, how long has it been? And we couldn't even remember it's been that many years. But she, like our entire ALS Association's Greater Chicago chapter family, continues to fight for those battling ALS, and a fight she will continue until we find a cure. So here to share her story, please welcome the founder and CEO of the Customer Service Institute of America and one of our very own ALS Association's Greater Chicago chapter board members, Christine Churchill Burke. Hi!
Hello. Hi, Susan. How are you?
Good. I am so excited, first of all, that I got you in without any problem.
I was thinking, yes, technology worked tonight. Yay.
Technology worked. Victory number one. It's a piece of cake from here on out now.
That's it.
Well, I love this. Thank you so much for coming on and just hanging with us tonight. I know you have a crazy busy schedule, so it means a lot.
I'm super excited to be here, so thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I want to start by taking it way back.
Okay, take me way back.
Let's go way back. As the little kids would say now, like, to them, the 90s is just a whole different universe, which is crazy. But
yeah, they're like, they had McDonald's then? And I'm like, yeah. Oh my God, they did. Anyway.
Who knew? Yeah, we had all the things. I had someone the other day, a little mini, was saying something about, like, how old are you? I said, oh goodness, I am old. Really? Were you born in like 2010? And I was like, I was born. I'm not even going to say the year, but they thought I was a dinosaur. For them, it's like time goes back that far.
Right. Especially if they just start doing math, they're like, whoa, wait a second.
Exactly. You were not born in the 2000s?
Mom, were there dinosaurs then? I'm like, stop it.
Oh, wait till it happens to them. Right. Well, we're going to go way, way, way back to, around the dinosaur time. Like, we're going to go to the 90s. How in the 90s? I mean, we're laughing about this now, but really, what happened in the 90s that sort of changed your life when it comes to ALS?
Yeah. So my aunt, do people cry in the show? Because, just prepare yourself. No.
Okay. Now you just busted yourself out that you've never watched our show before. No,
I have.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm just preparing people. There might be tears. No, but in 1995, my aunt was finally diagnosed with ALS after what seemed years of trying to figure out kind of what was going on with her. It kind of started with, it just seemed like she would stumble or fall a lot. And it just, that wasn't anything normal. And she was only in her early 60s. So we weren't kind of understanding what was going on. But yes, she was diagnosed with ALS and finally in 1995, and she passed away in 1996. So my mother was her caregiver towards the end, and just kind of understanding what ALS does to a person, and then consequently to their family in that whole process. It just became something that really made an impression on me. And I was very, it felt very unfair that people had to go through this. And it just didn't seem like a lot of people talked about it or even knew what I was talking about when I would say that she had passed from something like this. So, at that time I was living in Delaware, but I had moved to Chicago soon after, and I guess a few years after, and I was informed just by a friend that they were looking at launching a Greater Chicago chapter or actually it was just the Chicago chapter then, in Chicago for the ALS Association. They did not have that before, and they asked if I wanted to be a part of that. And yeah, I was really excited about that opportunity, but I'm like, are you sure this is a good idea? I'm like in my mid-20s. I have no idea what I'm doing. I think they just wanted some bodies who were really genuinely interested in making a difference in the ALS world. And that's what I've been doing. And I was thinking about it. It's been like, yeah, well over 20 years that started, which is crazy.
I can't believe it because for me, it seems like a blink of an eye. I wasn't there
Mm-hmm.
when it started, but I remember meeting Julie randomly through a Google search. That's how
Mm-hmm.
I came to the chat. And at the
Is that how
time, it
you
was
came?
3 people. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it was 3 people, and yeah, at some point, I'll have to tell that story, but yeah, a friend of mine passed away, and it was much like you. I mean, I think something different happens to you. To hear about ALS is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
To hear what it does is one thing, but to know somebody, to love somebody, and to see the journey that they walk through with this disease,
Yeah.
it changes you. I don't think there's a way that it can't affect you in one way or another. And there's different types of people. Some people like you, they take that and it sparks something inside of them and they feel like I need to be a part of the change. We
Yeah.
need to do something. And sort of that's what I love about this family is because it
Yeah.
brings together to me the best people in the world who are so driven to
Yeah.
fight to make a change because they know what this disease does and they don't want it happening to anybody else.
Yeah, it's never a family you want to be a part of, but once
Mhm.
you're in the family, you're happy that you are a part of it, that you have
Yeah.
these people surrounding you who understand what you're experiencing and want to change the world in this specifically in this ALS environment as well,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well, you kind of said it in your story that I think this is what happens to most people also, and it happened to me too. ALS comes into your life and you didn't really know about it. You didn't
Mhm.
know what that meant. And then now when we were talking on the phone, you mentioned now that you've been in this world and you've been exposed to it, unfortunately, now you
Mhm.
know so many people in your life. It's like Pandora's box was opened.
Yeah.
And what's happening in your life with ALS?
Yeah. So I guess in the chronological order of things. So one of my good friends, her father ended up having it. He was like the chief of police in Dallas, Texas. He ended up passing away from that, probably about, gosh, I don't know, almost 10 years ago now. Then one of my best friends who lives here locally in Chicago, her mother got ALS and also passed away last November, or not last November, November of 2021. And now one of our very good friends who is, my age has it, and it's not this orphan disease, or at least I don't feel like it, because
Mm,
it seems to surround me uh more than I more than I would like. Obviously no one likes that, but it's
yeah.
shocking, I guess, to be aware of how many people are affected and how many that you know. And the other thing is it does not discriminate. It's just you see some of the age range of people. It
Yeah.
covers every race and class, but it is an expensive disease to try and give a quality of life to the people who have this disease. And it's something we really need to help each other as a community to navigate
Mhm.
these waters.
I
Yeah.
love that you say that because that's another common theme that comes up a lot here that this is a community issue.
Mhm.
We need to be there for each other because somebody going through this type of battle, you can't do it alone. You just can't.
No, you
Mm-mm.
absolutely can't do it alone. And I think if there are any, like, if there's caregivers listening, especially, like, I think that often caregivers feel like they have they're not the sick ones, so they shouldn't complain, and this shouldn't be something that they should feel guilty about, feeling exhausted or tired, or they should count their blessings. And I hope that if they're listening, that they know that they need to take care of themselves. They do need to ask for help because it is not easy. And certainly we know the financial implications that go along with that. That's part of what the chapter tries to help alleviate for a lot of these families if they can, and at minimum put them in contact with others that have been through it or may have some of the things that they need, the emotional support. So if you're not utilizing the things that the chapter offers, please consider it, because it's going to make the journey for those who care for the individual that has ALS and the individual who has ALS to have that journey just to be a little bit easier, with a little bit of relief.
It's true. And every little bit really does help. Every one contact that you're given that you don't have to search for, that is priceless. Every item that we can provide to you that you don't have to go out and buy makes a huge difference. Every contact, every clinic, every study you can get into, every step of the way. It's just making your life so much easier so that you can spend the time with your loved one and make those memories while you have them together and not waste your time on all of this other stuff.
And who's great at making decisions when they're under that kind of stress and strain and concern and exhaustion? Like, give yourself a break, you know, really allow other people to just help you and say, we've done the research on this. We can help you. Let's talk through these things. So
it's so true. Yeah, people are chiming in, even saying that you're right. ALS does affect everyone, not just the one that has it. And that is so true. And we do have to look after everyone. It's not just a disease one person goes through. Everybody that loves them and that is surrounded by them is affected by this also. So we are there for all of you. But you, I mean, you had, you lost your aunt to this, and now you, as we were talking about, are completely surrounded. How do you think that's impacted you? Has that maybe changed the way that you live your life or the way you approach life now, or sort of the person you are? Because this is a heavy thing. And to continue to be surrounded by this, I think it puts maybe life in perspective in a different way.
I think that it does. I'll be honest. I feel like I'm so incredibly lucky to be part of this board and this team that works at the ALS Association, because, you know, I've been exposed to people and individuals who are going through things that I have not experienced, and I'm able to see how they do it with such grace and kindness, and they're so humble, and they just, it's not what you expect necessarily from people who go through something like this. And I've never once encountered one of our patients who just was negative, and all they seem to do is spread hope and joy. And to see that in someone who's affected by something that's so challenging in life, that has very much affected the way I live my life. Yeah, it really,
I believe it.
It's really, I don't know, it's amazing to see that. Like, I don't know where that comes from in a person. And sometimes I feel like the people who can display that, unfortunately, sometimes are the ones given these horrible diseases. Because I'm like, a lot of people I know or I've encountered, I guess I should say, don't seem like they would handle it this way. So I think these patients teach everyone who knows them a whole lot about living if people are open to it.
Agreed. And I have never, ever, ever seen the kind of all the things you described, the grace and the fight and the hope and the courage and even positivity in the face of this. I have never experienced anything like that in a person like I have with those facing ALS. It's something I have never seen. I couldn't even put words to how incredible it is, but I feel the exact same way. And my theory on this is that we don't want anyone ever to get ALS. That's the goal here. That's what we're fighting for. But as you said, it feels like it always comes down to it's the most incredible people that are being diagnosed with ALS. And it sounds awful to say it out loud, but I think that it's happening that way because those are the people with the courage and the strength and that can stand up, and that gets people to rally behind them and fight harder for this disease. I don't know how they do it, but my goodness. My goodness. And to stand back and witness it is just, I mean, I still get goosebumps to think about, like, I don't know where that courage comes from, but gosh, it's inspiring.
It is. It's very inspiring, and you can't help but be affected by it. Yeah.
Well, is that sort of what I want to transition into your life as a board member?
Sure.
Obviously, you were touched by what happened to your aunt,
Mhm.
But what was the inspiration? When they came to you with this crazy idea, let's start a chapter, do you want to join the board? I mean, what was the inspiration to make you say, yeah?
Um, I'm sorry, I have a child that's screaming in the
Oh,
shower,
we
so
don't hear
I'm
anything.
so okay. I'm so sorry. I think she's screaming for me, but that's just
Oh,
because I'm
no.
doing something, so I will continue to just ignore her unless it sounds serious. Um, yeah, I mean, like I was saying, joining the board wasn't really a question. It wasn't really a question for me, I'm sorry,
No.
uh,
Do you wanna go
because
check on her? Do we wanna make sure
no,
she's
I
okay?
just saw my oldest one run flying through the house to get her to she's helping, so
Okay.
I think.
Oh.
Um, so I apologize for the blip there, but, yeah, I think initially, like I said, my first thought was I wasn't sure how I could contribute, but I knew that I needed to do something. I knew I needed to participate. I mean, literally, the board meeting was like pre-Julie, pre-team, like, one of the board members from, I wanna say Cleveland flew in to help us put our board together, and there were kind of just like 3 of us or 4 of us kinda sitting around like, not really
What?
knowing what we were doing. Martha Kaharski, Toby Kaharski's mother, was the one who founded the chapter. I guess she was very persuasive with National to say, "Hey, we need a chapter here. The services that are available through other providers isn't really giving everyone what they need." And so that's what kind of prompted National to bring a chapter here. And so I don't know actually how I even like, I know who told me about it. It was my mother's best friend growing up who still lived in
Okay.
Chicago, told me about, them starting a board, but I don't even know how she found out about it, you know? So she found out about it, and then she just gave me this guy's number from Cleveland. I'm like, "I don't know." Mike Armstrong was his name. And yeah, they had the first board meeting in yeah, just somebody's office building. And at that time, Julie actually worked for the person in that office building. And now she's our executive director and has been our amazing executive director for almost 20 years. So it's crazy. I
It's
remember
so
seeing her there, which is funny, but I think it's the red hair that just made me remember her?
okay. It's just those full circle life moments. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's so crazy. Do you ever just sit back and think, "Oh, oh, I mean, that was the first interaction, and now here we are over 20 something years later, and this has just could you have ever guessed from that first, "Hey, do you wanna join a board? This new chapter is starting. This is what's going on," that it would grow into what it is today?
No, the first ALS walk they actually had was in, I want to say 2000 and hold on, I have to think about this. It might have been 2005, but Julie was the executive director then, and I was living in Australia, and I flew back home with my then fiance, but not my husband now. Never married, ended up marrying him, but that's another story.
That's a
Flew
great story for another time. I
That's a
love
good
it.
story for another time, yeah. But, yeah, flew back with him. We came to the first ALS walk, and there were, like, I don't know, 18 of us there. And it's just so funny to think about what
Wow.
it is now, how many walks we have, how many people show up, like, what it means to the community, how people look forward to it,
Yeah.
the teams that are created. Now we've got the walk in a is it walk in a it's walk in a box, right? Or it's, the remote walk that you can do, the
Yeah.
virtual walks.
Virtual.
So they're they're everywhere, and this is great for raising money and definitely spreading awareness, but, yeah, it's just so funny to think, yes, how many things have transpired over the years and what stuck and some stuff hasn't. That's okay.
Yeah. But you guys have figured your way out through the whole thing, and that's what I
Mhm,
love so
mhm.
much about this chapter is you guys really you are out there and the goal has always been the same since day 1. And we had on a previous episode, we had Toby and his wife on kind of sharing the origin of the story and
Yeah.
it's so true because I've witnessed it for the past I don't know, however many years. I think I came around in 2009. So since then, I have seen it. They've always held true to the initial mission. That has never
Yeah.
changed. No
Mhm.
matter what comes and goes, no matter what things work and don't work, they've had to pivot. Life has thrown a lot at them. COVID happened. The in person stuff was taken away. This team is so good about pivoting, changing, trying something. If it doesn't work, they tweak it, they find a better way. But at the heart of it all, it has always remained about patient care. And that to
Yep.
me is so exciting.
And that's what I was going to say. It's easy to take those kind of risks when we know we know what our true north is, right? Like,
Yeah.
so we can take those risks knowing that we are doing that because we think this is the right move for the patient in
Yeah.
the grand scheme of things. And if we see that it's not, it's not like, well, we put this into it and like maybe we should. No, if it's not
Mm-mm.
working, what's going to work? Because it's not about us. It's not about us like making sure our projects work. It's all about what are we doing that's going to move the dial with patient care and
Mhm.
research and finding a cure to ending this horrific disease.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it makes it
Absolutely.
really easy when you're guided by something that's that, like, in your face, you know?
True, I like it. And for those watching, what I respect most about the whole board and the entire team, it's not lip service. It's real easy to say that, but it's more than that for you guys.
Mhm,
You're saying it because it's true, but you live it, you breathe it. Every step that you take is with that specific goal in
mhm,
mind. And that has never changed. And I think that's beautiful because right
yeah,
now a lot of people are willing to talk the talk, but not many follow through, and you guys have followed through since day one, and it's
yeah.
never changing.
Well, it definitely, I don't wanna say that it helps, but it does create the momentum for us because everyone on the board has been directly affected by a loved one who has, had ALS.
Good.
So I think that that is certainly part of what keeps our, Rocky Balboa type of fighting spirit alive in this area,
Yes!
you know? Eye of the
Yes!
tiger, if anyone's hearing that now, that's what I'm hearing, so
Best reference.
right.
And if I was a little more tech savvy, I would be inserting that song right now.
Oh, don't do it, we might lose our connection.
I know. No, I love it. No, seriously. Well, let's explain to people that maybe don't specifically know this.
Mhm.
Let's take it back for a second. So, what does it actually mean to be a board member? What are your responsibilities as a board member for the Chicago chapter?
You know what? So anytime that there are governance things about the chapter, because the chapter runs as an organization, anytime there are things that needed to be voted on, budgets, approvals, new hires, you know, different different things that directions that they might be going. Now, Julie has a lot of autonomy because we know that she is capable and does such an amazing job, but
Yeah.
certainly these conversations come through the board quite often. What I
Mhm.
absolutely love that they do for us is they allow us access, if you will, or we have great relationships with the entire team. So we hear from care services all the time. We understand what's going on research. We understand what's happening in marketing. We understand where the money's coming in. We know how many bibs we're getting from Bank of America. So it's really us understanding how the business of
Mhm.
the chapter is running and what decisions need to be made, things that we need to vote on.
I guess I didn't even realize how
Mhm.
completely involved that you guys were in the day-to-day operations, which I actually really love. I love that it's not just a group of people that sit back and that maybe chime in once a year and, take that board status. I love that you guys you know everything that's going on in the chapter. You know firsthand what's happening, how we're helping people, and you're right
Mhm.
there to be a part of that and keep that mission on track as well with this entire sort of family that's working together.
Yes. Yes, and that's what I consider us. I mean, I do feel like we're kind of all part of a big team and, we're there to support them through, everything and we listen. I mean, it's not we know they know what they're doing. So if there's
Yeah.
something they need from us and then we need to vote it in, then we will do it because that they know what they're doing. They are the ones that we'd be crazy to not listen to them because they're the ones who are with the
Yeah.
patients every single day. I mean, and again, these are the people and the families that we're here to serve. So we need to be listening to those who have the most information and most contact with these individuals. And so it's great to all be part of that big team.
Oh, I like it. Well, what is maybe one of your favorite things about being a part of that big team, about being a board member?
Well,
If
that
you
is a
can
good
pick one.
question. I don't know. One of the things we get to do too, though, is we get to act as ALS ambassadors. And I just love that we do in-person ambassador meetings twice a year. For those of you who don't know, ALS ambassadors are like our super volunteers, right? They are people who have just dedicated themselves beyond to the ALS mission and to our chapter. And we started the ambassadors, which this team learns, they keep up to date with some of the clinical trials, the research, all the things that we're doing at the chapter. And that keeps me in touch with kind of what's going on with some of our volunteers as well. So that's probably one of my favorite things, is getting that opportunity to do that in addition to.
I love it. And actually, that's one of the things I missed most about being far away at the moment, because I miss those in-person ambassador meetings.
Mhm.
Those are my favorite times. I love that we're still incorporating some of that virtual, so I can still join when we have a call, when we do Zooms. But yeah, there is something really special about that in person. And it's really great to learn straight from those that are out there, like you say, sort of boots on the ground, to get to hear exactly what the chapter's done. So we always do know what's going on, what research is happening, what drugs have been approved, what new
Yeah.
things are coming, how we can help people, so that all our ambassadors have all the current information when they sort of are unleashed into the world
Yeah,
to shout ALS awareness from the rooftops, because that's exactly what they're doing.
it is what they're doing. And we could not do what we do without them. And we're so thankful that they are so committed and dedicated.
They
It's
are. They're a
amazing.
rock star team.
Yeah.
There's some cool people too. I mean, everyone involved here with this chapter, I cannot say it enough. They are such superheroes with
I
what they
know.
do. It's really cool. And you're included in that. I mean,
Eh,
seriously, everyone, the board, the chapter, they're just stinking superheroes. So awesome.
that is nice of you to say. I don't know that I consider myself one of those. I consider all the people that we serve superheroes. So
I mean, that too. That
thank you.
they're included in that family. Absolutely. Not only superhero, also you're getting pegged as an amazing guest.
Oh, well,
I like
thank you.
that too.
Thank you.
I love it. Everyone's so kind here in our sunflower family.
Good. I
I
would
love it.
expect nothing less. It just seems
So
to be who
true.
you draw.
Well, this is kind of like a fun random one. I want to see what first pops into your head.
Uh-oh, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. So think about it. I guess it could be anyone in the world, but someone
Okay.
that you don't personally know. If you got to pick anyone from the entire world, past or present, that you got to snatch up and bring as a new board member for the
Oh.
chapter, who would you want to include? Who would you bring to join our board, and why? I was thinking, like, what celebrity would it be? But I guess it doesn't have to be, maybe a celebrity. It could be anyone. Who
Well,
would you
a
want?
celebrity did pop into my mind. So I will tell you, Renee Zellweger, and I
Oh,
can tell you why. Because one of the ALS national meetings that I attended, and I don't know where it was. I can't remember if it was Atlanta or DC or where we were that year. But she actually came in as one of our speakers because her publicist, who is Nancy Ryder, who is the publicist to Reese Witherspoon and Courtney Cox and like a host of other very
okay.
famous ladies, she suffers with ALS and is on kind of the last bit of her
Oh,
journey.
no.
But Renee came in with her for this event and to speak about kind of just all the things that ALS has done, and also how watching her very good friend go through this has affected her.
Okay.
It was really beautiful. Um,
Oh,
and I think that having someone that's that just committed
yeah.
and dedicated and understands firsthand like how it all feels and what exactly happens, and has the following that she does, because it has to come from a place of serving, and you could
Mhm.
tell that's exactly where she was in being there at that moment. There was nothing about her being there that was anything about, hey, look at me, I'm Renee Zellweger, right? She tried
Okay.
to blend into the wallpaper as much as she could the entire time she
Okay.
was there, because it was all about ALS and the patients that were there. And I just really felt that she was connected and connecting. And I think we can always use people like that.
And people with, you said, with a platform and with a voice that can reach
Yeah.
so many more people, because that's what this needs. That's what this needs. Still, we don't have enough people talking about ALS. I still run into so many people, and 9 times out of 10, it's someone that said, wow, what is ALS? I mean, how do you fight a disease when still the majority of people don't know what it is?
Right.
That's, we have to fight that. I think that's incredible. So let's hope that Renee Zellweger is watching the
That's right.
show.
Yeah, come
That
on.
she has
Join our
stumbled
board.
upon this.
You can dial in. We do lots of Zoom board meetings these days. So
Yes, you could be anywhere in the world.
that's
You
right.
can be on the set of your next movie. You could be filming Bridget Jones's Diary, like 15 at this point. I don't know what one they're on,
I've
but
seen all of those like 700 times because Bridget Jones, Renee Zellweger, but Colin Firth, let's just be honest. So
uh, I
now
love
you all
it.
know my celebrity crush.
Ooh, good to know. Well, little Miss Bridget herself, Renee, have your people call out people. Let's make this happen. Let's get you on the board because, yeah, I think she would fall in love too with you guys. I mean, who wouldn't want to join this family? Who wouldn't want to make a change in this world and help so many people? So I think that maybe is something that we can accomplish in life.
You know what? Never say never.
Never say never. And everybody who is watching this or who isn't at the moment but is going to watch this, please feel free to reach out to Renee Zellweger. I'm sure you can find her anywhere on social media and let her know. We would love to have her join our chapter. We would love to have her on the board to help making a difference. We should tell her that.
Yes.
Everyone, let her know. It is true, guys. I love that you are staying active in the show. Awareness is important for the people, and that is why we're here. That is why we keep talking about it. That is the foundation and the basis of this show, and we're going to keep shouting it from the rooftops because it is important, and this is what we believe in.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say it was so great when the Ice Bucket Challenge came through. It certainly helped, but it still needs to keep the conversation going because that was great. It was a nice little booster, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And one thing I have to say about the team at the ALS Association here in Chicago is first of all, they always fight for our patients, and they don't stop if there's a patient that needs to be served. And we will work with other chapters. We will work with other organizations if we need to, if it's for the best thing for the patient. But I was going somewhere else with this also. I think it was just trying the amount of things that they do to raise money, but also raise awareness. They just don't stop. Getting to be a chosen charity for the First Look for Charity for the Chicago Auto Show is one of the hardest things to do. And of course, our team got us in there.
There's no stopping.
In 2020 was the first year. Yeah, we literally all went to First Look, and then we, got locked down for a while. But, we went this year, and we sold, I think they sold almost 400 tickets this year, and that's almost unheard of. They doubled the suite size, and it's a great event. But they are finding niches of places where maybe people haven't heard. How can we get more awareness? How can we raise more money? And I just love it. They're always active.
Always. And like I said, they're relentless in the best way. They're so relentless. And no matter what gets in their way, if the world's going to shut down or if legislation, if new rules or regulations get in the way, no matter what happens, they find a way to make the most of it and to work around it to get the patients what they need, to provide the services the patients need. And like, if anyone came to them with ALS, no matter where they are in the world, if we can't physically help them here, they will get them to the person that can help them.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. That's why I throw that word superhero out, because there is no stopping what they are capable of. And anything that gets in the way, it's fine. They just navigate around that obstacle and move on to the next thing and make it even bigger and better.
Trust me, they've all had big things big things that most people would say, you know what, I can't because I've got this going on, and they still push through.
Yeah.
amazing.
always. And even just the example you gave with the bibs, I mean, everything they do, it just gets better and better. And every year they get more. They find more runners. They grow Team ALS. They find, great ambassadors. They get new things passed. They get new programs introduced. They're doing so many things that I don't know how they even have time to sleep,
I
but
don't
they do
either.
it.
I don't either. Yeah, and we haven't even talked about their success on the Hill when they go for, Advocacy Week and Advocacy Day, they call it, but it's actually a little
Yeah.
longer than that. But it's a super amazing experience to do that and to see all the success that they have had, passing things and getting, veterans benefits, waiving the wait time for Social Security. I mean, all the things that they've been able to do for our patients that, was there was legislation that needed to be passed. I
Yeah.
mean, we all know how easy that is to do. Not easy.
I
But this is something that even both parties, as divisive as they are right now, seem to be able to come together on, which is good.
I think that's really beautiful. And you say, I mean, it's so easy to say it. I don't think people get the impact of how, like, oh, they get the Social Security wait period waived. That's a huge deal. That one thing in itself is a
You have no
huge
idea.
life-changing deal.
ALS is financially wiped out so many
Yeah.
families. And so to get any type of injection of funds earlier can make just a world of difference, because anybody who's ever had a
Yeah.
financial issue knows how stressful that is. You layer on top of that
Yeah.
somebody who's a family that's struggling with ALS. I mean, it's becomes unbearable. So
Mhm.
yes, it's important to get
And
those
the
things done.
harsh reality is, I think, too, that we say this and it sounds awful, but it is the truth. Time There is no time.
No, there's no
When you're
time to wait.
diagnosed with ALS, time's against you. You don't have that wait period. And then after that individual passes from the disease, because there's no cure, we know what the end result's going to be. They are going to lose the battle eventually.
Mhm.
The family is left with that burden. We've
That's right.
we've talked to so many people that it's an exp I mean, over and I think this number is very low compared to what it probably really is, but it's like it costs over $280,000
Mhm.
a year
A
for
year.
someone with ALS. Yeah, a
Mhm.
year.
And if their
People
caregiver is their other income provider, eventually they will not be able to work anymore because full-time
Yeah,
caregiver has to also leave their job.
yeah.
And that's just the reality of the situation. And that is also why please ask for help from your community, because everybody wants to help.
Mhm,
Nobody wants to sit back and not do anything. And so if you
mhm.
can give that person or those around you that opportunity to help, then you're actually doing them a favor. It's not just them doing you a favor. So just, try and keep that in mind, because for all the reasons we've been talking about.
Mm.
Yeah.
And if you are getting worked up, sort of, I mean, this stuff pumps me up. If you want to help, there are so many ways. If any of you are watching and are inspired to want to step in and get involved, there's so many possibilities to do that. You
Yeah.
just go to the website, alsachicago.org, because you can give financially if that's something you want to do. If you don't want to give financially, you can give your time, you can
Mhm.
volunteer, you can offer to give services, you can offer to help those battling ALS. You can come out to our events, you can meet them in person. There are so many ways that you can get involved and you can help somebody, help make that burden of this battle just a little bit easier. So
Even
many
like something
possibilities.
simple like the Facebook donation challenges, or like donate
Yeah.
to ALS Chicago for my birthday, and like every $5 or every dollar, right? It makes such a difference. I see things like that when they're happening and I'm like, this is like, this
Oh,
is great because it's raising awareness and
mhm.
it's also, raising funds, which is just great. But if there's something that you can think to do, if it's not time, maybe it's something that you do at the office, or maybe it's putting a gift
Yeah.
basket together for one of our, you know, uh, charity events that where we can auction it off. So there's all
Yeah.
kinds of ways to be involved for sure.
So many cool things. Yes, so many. And lunch and learns too. I want to throw that out there. I don't know if we've ever talked about this on the show. That's something really exciting too. If you have an organization, if your company, if you want to sort of share the mission of what we do, you can do that. We have these great ambassadors that will come out on your lunch
Right.
break and talk to your employees, tell them about ALS, tell them what the chapter does. And just, again, it's that opportunity to spread awareness. And those usually go over so well. It's really cool to see people have this sort of aha moments of, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you guys did that. And by the way, I always love saying this because every service that the chapter provides is free of charge.
Right. Yep.
I mean, that's huge.
No,
and we can't
is
do that without help.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, that's what the ambassador meeting that we were, this last one that I was at, which was in like November. It was November. It was probably my favorite one because half the time we actually spent like all working as a team, like doing Christmas cards, wrapping blankets, like doing presents for like families. And so it was not just like, hey, let's just all talk about what's going on in the world of ALS. All of that's important, but it was also like, let's do something for, you know, our families and things. And just so there's so many different ways to do things.
Yeah. So help. Join the family. Don't you want to be a part of this cool family with Christine and I? Join us.
It's an awesome family.
It is. It's super cool. ALSAchicago.org. Remember that. I'm going to put that up in the comment section. Beautiful.
So at least the savages have left the door. The barn door. Have you guys been hearing I've got one with their face shoved between the wall and they're like shaking the door. Mommy.
Oh,
so
I love it. We can hear nothing. We hear none of it. Those are the most incredible
value.
Yeah, that was to say, that is, what brand is that? You can plug that because people would be interested. We hear none of the things that are going on.
It's a Sennheiser. Is that what it is? Yeah. A Sennheiser.
Well, that is
German technology, so could be
incredibly impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've heard nothing this entire show. It's amazing.
That's good.
Well, I mean, we could chat forever about how great the chapter is and all the great services. And there was definitely so much more I wanted to ask you about that. But I mean, we've already been talking for almost an hour now, and I want to play this game. I want to get to.
Let's do it.
You got two little ones running around that want their mom. So
the face is back in the door again. It's like she must have heard me. There's just like this eyeball like peeking through.
I love it. Well, okay, so I got real excited about this. And when I was going through trying to find questions, I mean, we could play this for like 5 hours. I've got so many questions because it was just the rabbit hole of exciting rom-com trivia.
Is one of the answers Bridget Jones?
I mean, it could be. I don't know. It could be.
Okay.
I looked at that movie and I was going to put some stuff in too. And ironically, I think I took the Bridget Jones stuff out, which now I'm regretting since you are such a huge fan. So next time you're on, we'll do a Bridget Jones themed game in itself. And
because Renee Zellweger will be one of our board members by then, so it'll all be fine. Yeah, she'll know all the answers. She's totally going to be on my team.
You guys could go head to head, and we could put her knowledge to the test. Like, does she remember things about the movies? Because she's been in so many other movies. Maybe she started to forget certain things.
That's a good point. And things she might not have even seen. Or she, I don't know.
Exactly. So you better watch Bridget Jones every episode or every movie about 100 more times so that you cannot go down to the original Bridget Jones herself. You cannot let her beat you. Oh, Renee, you have to be a part of this family. Okay, so let's test your trivia on this. Do you love Valentine's as much as, I don't know, I was going to say other people, but I don't know if other people love it as much as I do. Do you love Valentine's and rom-com and candy and all that good stuff?
Me?
Yeah.
I guess you're asking me.
Yes.
I do. I tend to be more of a Halloween girl, but
okay.
I do love Valentine's Day. Yes. But I do love rom-coms for sure.
Ooh, okay. What's your favorite rom-com?
Oh, geez. I don't.
Is it Bridget Jones then? Since we've been...
I don't know.
Well, what's that? Because that's hard to think. But what's that go-to movie that when you just want to just be cheered up or whatever mood you're in, you put that romantic comedy on? It doesn't matter how many times you've seen it. It always makes you laugh and smile and feel better. What's that movie?
Bridget Jones is probably a good one. But and Christmas time, it's 100% Love Actually. I mean,
that's mine too. I can never get sick of that. Ever. Never get sick of that movie.
No. I
Yeah,
agree.
that's a good one. That's
That
a
is a
good
good
one. And the ending scene, the song, oh, I just love that song so much. And when that little girl rocks out,
And that is the only way I like that Mariah Carey sing. I'm sorry, Mariah Carey.
oh,
Yeah, so when I hear that, I think of all the bazillions of dollars she's made on that song, and she is a talent to be sure, but I like the song in that movie. Otherwise, I think it's
okay.
just way overplayed.
Okay.
Sorry for all the Mariah Carey lovers out there. It's my personal, probably need to keep my personal opinions to myself.
No, I love it. These are the things that spark great conversations. So guys, if you're watching the show, play with us, please. We're gonna hit this trivia game and see how you do at home. If you know the answers to these questions, let's test everybody's Valentine's Day and rom-com knowledge. Okay, so there is a mix of questions between sort of movies, romantic comedies, quotes from romantic
Oh,
comedies,
geez. Okay.
Valentine's Day things in general, and there's some good candy questions thrown in there about some Valentine's candy. So it's a whole mix of things. We don't know what we're going to get. Okay. This one's a true or false one. In the movie When Harry Met Sally, Harry and Sally both attended the University of Chicago. True or false? Don't you Google that.
I'm not Googling that.
I have never seen the movie When Harry Met Sally.
I'm going to say
Just gonna
false.
say it. It's true.
It's true.
I didn't know that. I threw it in there because it was Chicago.
I need to may I let my daughter in this
Yeah,
room because
of
she is
course.
going crazy at the door.
She can play with
Hold on.
us.
You guys keep going. Yeah, keep going.
She can play with us always. Let's test her knowledge. I have never seen When Harry Met Sally, so that question I actually didn't know. But yeah, fun fact: they were both attending the University of Chicago in the movie. Okay, so our next question, when she gets back on to hear us, is about Jerry Maguire.
Oh, Jerry Maguire.
Do you know that
Okay.
movie?
Well,
Yeah.
Renee Zellweger's in it, so I hope
mean,
I do. I mean, I don't know.
well, we'll see. This one's a little bit hard. So in the movie, he was the sports agent for Rod Tidwell. We all know and love him. Show me the money.
That's right.
So what NFL team did Rod Tidwell play for in the movie? I will give you some options.
Okay.
Washington Redskins, San Francisco 49ers, Arizona Cardinals, or Dallas Cowboys? Take a guess. I would not know this. I feel like
want to say it was the Cardinals, but well,
it was. It was
the Cardinals. Was it? Okay.
It was. It was the Cardinals. You got it. You got it. Well, this is a random one you will not know the answer to because I did not know the answer to, but we'll hit people with a little fun fact. Who, if you could take a guess, I'll give you some options. Who first declared Valentine's Day a holiday? Was it St. Valentine, the Vatican Council, Pope Gaius, or Roman Emperor Augustus? I don't know how anyone would know this, but we're going to teach you. We're going to teach you right now.
I remember, so somebody actually posted something on Facebook the other day about how this, like the gory scene of how St. Valentine's died is what sparked Valentine's Day. So I'm going to want to say like the Vatican Council. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that was an option. Yeah. It was
go with
close. It was
Pope?
close. It was actually the Pope. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in
because apparently it was a fairly ugly
496.
death.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing
no
that makes you think Valentine's Day, but apparently this saint needed to be recognized, but I don't know how it became a love holiday.
Strange. I feel like I read that last night, but that was all taken away when I started doing the romantic comedy movies. That part of it was like, oh, make space for the rom-com.
Here comes one. Oh, here she comes. Okay.
Oh, hello, beautiful.
You say hello. I have 2 unicorns tonight, but the other one is doing homework, I think.
So cool. Love a good unicorn. We love a unicorn sighting here on this show.
Yeah, love it. We do.
Love it. You're going to play with your mom? Oh, yeah. I forget. She can't hear us. Yeah. Ooh. Do you have any idea where the first Valentine's Day celebration took place?
Oh, don't do that, honey.
England, Ireland, Sicily, Paris.
Oh, Paris. I'm just going to go with Paris.
Yeah, it was. It was Paris. I wonder if that's where the city of love came from, but it was. It was in 1400.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was.
I think it's
learned
just all
so
the
much
wine.
doing this.
How could you not love everyone when everyone's just drinking that
True.
much wine?
When
I don't know.
everyone's like hopped up on wine and cheese.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing bad about that.
Nothing bad about life then. You have to love
No,
everybody.
that's it.
Ooh, this one you'll know, I think, because you're a rom-com fan. So what do
Okay.
you call the contrived and unlikely meeting between potential love interests in a romantic comedy?
A meet cute.
Yes! I didn't even need to give you options on that.
That's from, I think they explained that in The Holiday. Also a good rom-com movie.
Also a great movie. That's
Yeah.
another one of those that I don't really ever get sick of either.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, so
so many good-looking people to watch and such a good story, so why not?
and I just love the idea. I want that life where I just pick up and just go house swap with somebody in some cool, awesome, amazing place
And
and
then
either
Jude
get
Law
this.
shows up at your house? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah. When is that happening? Where can I sign up for that, please? Yes.
Mhm.
Because I would take either the cute, tiny little cottage in the middle of nowhere or the big, giant mansion with all
Why
the
not both?
fancy movie. Yeah. I like the way you think. I like it. How about Never Been Kissed? Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. What was Drew Barrymore's nickname in high school in the
Grossy
movie?
Josie.
Yes, switched it, but yes, Josie
Josie
Grossi.
Grossi. Okay.
Josie Grossi. That's hilarious. Ooh, here's another random Valentine's fact. If you had to throw out a number and make a guess, how many greeting cards do you think are sold in the US at Valentine's Day?
Oh my good. I'm gonna say, I don't even know how many people we have here. I'm gonna say 120 million.
You are so close to that
Really?
money answer. 145 million.
Ooh, okay. I feel okay
Yeah,
about that. I was pretty
I
close.
I feel real good with that. I think that's pretty dang awesome.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Valentine's Day cards, the oldest one recorded was 600 years old.
600 years
600 years
old.
ago, they have, yeah,
Wow.
let's see, by Charles the Duke of Orleans, he wrote a poem to his wife calling her Valentine back in 1914 or 1914 in 1415. I'm just making up numbers.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we would have believed you. I mean, nobody, I mean, I don't know, maybe there's people checking the facts right now,
Right,
but
right. They're testing me. Ooh, Mystic Pizza. I love that movie also.
that's
Have you
another
seen
good one.
that?
Yes,
It's
of course I
another,
have.
of course.
Of
So who
course.
did Kit fall in love with in Mystic Pizza? Do you remember?
I remember she fell in love with the dad, like the dad of the kid
Yes,
she babysat for, but I don't remember his name. And
that's
they looked at the
but that's the
stars
answer.
together. Is that
That's the answer. The father of the kid she babysat is
Oh,
literally the answer to that
perfect.
question.
Awesome. So I don't even need to know the name.
No, Okay, this one surprised me actually. Which is the highest grossing rom-com film to date? I'll give you options.
Okay.
Sleepless in Seattle, Pretty
Okay.
Woman, or My Big Fat Greek Wedding. What do you think is the highest grossing of those three?
I am thinking My Big Fat Greek Wedding only because of it was released after all of those, and I feel like I don't know, movie tickets were more expensive? I don't know.
That is actually a really good way to break that down because I never, out of those three, I never would have guessed it. That wouldn't have even been on my radar. That is the answer. That's
Is
the
that the
highest
answer?
grossing, yeah, highest grossing
Kidding.
rom-com of all time.
I will watch that if it's ever on. If I'm, like, flipping
Okay.
channels, I'm like, "There's nothing on." I'm like, "Oh, yep, love this movie." So, I do watch that.
And
I
I've been
like that
seeing they've
one.
been in the press a lot lately too because the new one is coming. They're making another one.
I don't even
Another
think I
My
ever
Big
saw the
Fat.
do they have a second one? Wait, are
Yeah.
they making a second one or they're making a third one
No, I
now?
think they're making like a third possibly. I
Okay, I
think it's
have
a
not
third.
seen the second one, so sometimes I
Yeah.
just feel like you shouldn't mess with the classic, and I kind of felt that way with the Bridget Jones thing, like we were talking about, but, then you threw in Patrick Dempsey, I'm not gonna say no to that, so, you know,
I think hers are so
hers
great
was
though
the
because
third.
everyone
Yeah.
are so funny. They're all
Mhm.
funny in their own way. They just keep getting funnier. So, I'm not even
Okay.
mad about those sequels.
No, me
But
neither.
never would have guessed. More than Pretty Woman? Guys, what
Yeah,
happened to you? I'm disappointed in this.
I'm thinking I'm just thinking of when they came out, There could have just been more exposure and ticket prices were more expensive. That's the only thing
Yeah.
I could think of. So I don't know.
I guess it makes sense because when we talk about numbers, they did more than double basically what
Really
yeah, it blows me away. I can't believe it.
interesting.
Ooh, candy fact. Strange
Okay.
question too. What popular Valentine candy was originally created as a medical lozenger?
Oh gosh,
I'll give
not
you
those
some choices.
candy hearts, those chalky candy hearts.
Yes.
Is that what they are? Was it something?
Yes, I didn't even need to give you options. How would you know that?
I didn't know that, but I just know that sometimes I tasted one recently and I'm like, oh. So I'm like, maybe that could have been medicine. And
That is so it. I
really?
mean,
So
they
they were,
themselves weren't the medicine, but I have the history for you on this.
oh, this is
So in
interesting.
1847, a Boston pharmacist named Oliver Chase invented a machine that simplified the lozenge production process. So that resulted in the first candy. It ended up being a candy making machine. Like it made these things faster. And then after he realized what it was and that that was an opportunity to revolutionize the candy business, he left being a pharmacist and he went into making into candy production. And it took him 15 years after that point to develop the way to press the words into the candy with a felt roller and vegetable food coloring. And then another 40 years after that is when they became heart shaped. So originally they weren't heart shaped. They were just
That's
those
so
sugary
funny.
candies.
And
Yeah.
they were, when I was young, they were my favorite to get because I always wanted to see, what it's like the magic 8 ball, except in candy hearts in a way. Like you want to see what the message is,
Yeah.
especially if you liked somebody. Yeah, they never knew, yeah, how boys are. They just dumping stuff in your bag. They didn't actually know they gave you something that might mean something to you, but it's cool.
They
I
didn't know
I
they were
see a
giving you the
therapist for
I love
that.
you
It's fine.
candy. Yeah. To all the boys that gave her I love you candy hearts back when she was little,
Yeah,
this
baggage
is what
now. I've
happened.
got all
Yeah.
kinds of baggage.
And I guess because we all call them candy hearts. They actually
Mhm.
have a name. They're conversation hearts because they have words on
Conversation
them.
hearts. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Conversation hearts. Yeah. Crazy.
You could do
Okay.
a whole sunflower hour just on with candy hearts as your conversation starters. Like you just pick it up and say, that would be fun.
Oh my gosh, we should do that.
We should try it.
I love this idea. Sam, this
Yeah.
is what happens when Sam leaves me. We go
Right.
rogue. Who
Nothing
knows
good.
what's going to happen? We're about to have a whole nother side episode. I'm serious. We should do that. You want to come back with me and we'll literally just do an hour. You get a bag, I'll get a bag, and we just we
It'd be
start
fun.
conversations based on what the candy hearts tell us.
Or our magic 8 ball. We could throw
Or
that in the
that.
mix too. Yeah.
Yes,
Good.
please. Yes. Let's see where the wind takes us. I love
Sure.
it. I love it. How about Sleepless in Seattle? Are you a Sleepless in Seattle fan? I wasn't
Hmm.
super into that movie,
I
if I'm
liked
being
it.
honest.
I
Okay.
didn't I didn't watch a lot. You've Got Mail, Sleepless Seattle, the kind of
Okay.
Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks thing. They were good. I
Okay.
don't stop and rewatch, I guess, but they were good.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Meg. Sorry, Tom. Well,
Eh,
we'll
they were
skip
good.
that question then. We'll
You
skip
can do
it.
it. I might know the answer. I don't know.
Okay. Well, in that movie, what film did Tom Hanks say scared every man in America? I have options if you need them.
Yes, options, please. What's that?
Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, Fatal Attraction, Basic Instinct, or Body Heat. And I'm not going to lie, I only know 2 of the 4 of those movies.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Fatal Attraction.
It was. You are very good at this game.
See, see, see. Just answer it
Your
no.
knowledge power on this is fantastic.
Thank you.
I love it. Let's see how well you know candy then too. Let's get back to some
Ooh,
candy.
okay.
This was also a very exciting it's as I say this, it's funny the facts I get excited about. I feel
Oh,
like my life
interesting.
is better now that I know this next answer. According to the First of all, my life is better because now I know that there is something called the National Confectioners Association. Hmm. So,
I wanna be a
according
part of
to
that.
them, thank you. Taste
Mhm,
test, please.
mhm.
According to the National Confectioners Association, there's a standout favorite in every box of assorted chocolates. What's the most popular flavor in chocolate boxes? What's that favorite flavor? What would
The
you think?
caramel one.
I feel like you've read All of these questions. You Googled them and snuck them in before. Yeah, it's the caramel. I
Is
mean,
it?
I agree. Hands down, that's my
I mean,
favorite.
I think that's the one everyone searches for, and then the strawberry one gets no love. I mean, no love.
Didn't
People
even
bite
make the
into that
list.
strawberry or the orange cream, and they're like, "Oh,
Nope.
oh," and then I bet you there's somebody on here that loves that, though. Like, I like raspberry cream. Orange, though,
Ooh.
that's just a big no for me.
Isn't that strange? Because I'm with you. I love orange juice. I love
Mhm.
fresh oranges. I well, I guess that's the extent of my orange. But orange cream? Mm-mm. No, thank you.
Yeah, no.
Give me that raspberry cream all day long.
Mhm,
Raspberry cream, but orange? Something about raspberry and
mhm.
chocolate just flow well together. Does anybody,
Absolutely.
yeah, anybody out there, who's eating the orange cream? Tell
Yeah,
us. Are you?
please jump in
Who?
if you are.
Or
I wanna know.
strawberry. Yeah. Do those people exist? Do you actually like it, or are you and do you this is a good question. So when you get that box and you
What you
take
got?
a bite and it's a flavor you don't like, do you stop and throw it away, or do you feel obligated to finish the candy because you started it?
Depends on the day. If
Okay.
it's the last 2 chocolates in the box, I'm gonna eat them.
Even
If
if
I
you hate
feel like yeah,
okay.
probably, I'm not gonna lie. Some days are just like that. Mhm.
Some days you just need that extra hit of chocolate. I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I get it. And actually, I started my day because it's morning here and it just felt very appropriate with all this candy research. I started my day with some chocolate to get me amped up for the show.
I
So
mean, do you see what people drink for breakfast, what they get at Starbucks and Dunkin' in the morning? Like, these
crazy.
it's like candy bars in a cup. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with starting your day with candy. Plus, you know
No
what's gonna
way.
happen the rest of the day. Might not even have a chance.
Exactly. You got to get it in when you can get it in. And here, certain candies we don't have here. Like
Mhm.
Snickers doesn't exist here. Like those
Yeah.
candies don't exist.
And you can't
And
ship them to you because they will melt.
no,
You'd have to pack them in
exactly.
dry ice. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I snuck a Snickers from a last trip back to a first world country. And I hit up one of those stores in the airport with the duty free, like all the things you can't get in
Mhm.
Indonesia. And I have a secret stash of Snickers that have saved my life more than one occasion. Okay. So, well, the top five caramel is number one. Then it's the chocolate covered nuts. I get behind that also.
Yeah, I do too.
Then
Fully.
chocolate filled, then cream filled. Coconut is number 5, and I can't do it. That's the one I take one bite into, and it's all going in the garbage.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm
The
a
piece in my
massive
mouth.
coconut fan. Like, I am a big, yeah, coconut fan. So, mhm. That would
Well, you
actually be
need
the
to
one I
choose
look
it.
for first if it's covered in dark chocolate. Milk
Okay.
chocolate's a no-go for me. Unless it's a Snickers bar, then I will eat milk chocolate, but on that's pretty much
Okay.
it. She's going, "Yum, yum, yummy."
Yum, yum.
She heard
We're
me
getting
say
her
Snickers
all
bar.
amped up
Yeah,
right
you
before
excited?
bed.
Did you have your
You
Snickers bar?
you are so welcome, Christine. We're gonna get your child so amped up right before we unleash her on bedtime for you. What's your favorite candy bar?
What's your favorite candy bar? What do you think?
A chocolate
A
bar.
chocolate one, like a Kit Kat or a Snickers or a
Ooh.
Twix bar?
It, I think all the candy.
All the candy.
All best answer.
Equal opportunity.
It
That's
depends on
right.
the day, right? The day, the mood.
Like caramel.
Caramel.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Fun dip.
Fun dip. That's yeah, fun dip.
You can
That's
eat the stick.
you can eat the stick, but do you want to?
Yeah, right.
They say,
You can, but
they say
Yeah.
it's not good for you.
oh, they say it's not good for you? We're gonna have to have the girls on for the candy quiz part next time because
I
they
like
would
this.
definitely be the ones who would know even more than me.
We'll do that. We'll do an earlier show before the girls' bedtime, and we will do a whole candy edition. I'm sure they can teach us a thing or two.
I'm sure they can.
Absolutely. Well, I want to throw a couple more too because these are just really fun, and then I'll let you get to girls' bedtime. But
All right.
let's see if you know where this line came from. I
I'm
was going to
ready.
try to do her voice, but I can't do it. I'm not even going to pretend like I can act like this actress. So here's the line from a movie. You tell me what rom-com this line is from.
Okay.
Choose me. Marry me. Let me make you happy.
Oh, say it again. Just because it was
You
fun to
know
watch
it.
you do
You
it,
know
but I
it.
don't no, but I don't
I'll do it
remember.
with less emphasis then. I'll
Okay.
just give you the choose me.
Mhm.
Marry me. Let me make you happy.
I do know this, and I can't think of
You
what
know
it
it.
is. I know I
You
do.
know it. The moment I wake up, before I
Before I
put
put
on
on
my
my
makeup.
makeup.
That's
Oh, My Best Friend's Wedding.
Yes! Yes,
Thank
when
you for
she's
the
like
song.
running around and she's in, I don't know how, it's been a long time since I've seen the movie, but I still remember she's in the little tank top and jeans and they're in the, what are those things called? The wooden,
Like a
it's not an
sauna?
atrium.
No.
No,
Like,
outside. It's a
a gazebo?
outside. Gazebo, thank you. Yes, they're in the gazebo and she's like, "Come on, like choose me. Like marry me, let me make you happy."
But he doesn't, right? I can't.
He
If
doesn't.
spoiler alert people, but
Spoil
yeah, okay, good. Because
If
that
you
would just
haven't.
be annoying,
Yeah.
because some
You would know
movies.
this quote, I feel like. This is another good one.
Oh,
"I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love me."
that's Notting Hill, I think, right?
Oh, it is. It is so good.
Where is this from? What? Sorry, there's just been something handed to me that's dripping. Can you just take that back into the bathroom? Thank you. I'm so sorry. I don't know what that was, but
I love it. Well,
that's
we'll
what
have
that
to
is.
have you, but there's so many random questions on here that are just so fun. Like, so I got very carried away with this. So,
I know I want to keep going, but
we'll have to yeah. Well,
what
for
was
another
the
time,
best?
we'll get them back. We'll do all kinds of more fun ones. Oh, wait, here's one more. Let's just end on this one because
Oh,
it's
and the
really
wedding
awesome.
date. I just have to throw in when you ask like favorite. The wedding date is also one of my favorites. With
Yeah?
Deborah Messing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah. Anyway,
That is
let's
a
do your
really good
final
one.
question and then we
I
can.
do love her. That's another I haven't watched it in a long time, and I feel like I'm gonna need to.
Yeah, I think you need to.
That one
It's
or
a good
now
one.
it's making me think of also Leap Year. That's another really cute one.
Oh yeah. That's Amy.
Amy something, yeah.
Yeah, it's Amy,
The other
not
redhead.
Isla. I always get Isla and Amy confused, but it's okay.
Yeah. The one I
Amy
think she married
Adams?
Sacha
Amy
Baron yes, yes. She married Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, yes, she did.
Yes, yes, yes.
Or did
That's a
Isla
cute movie too.
Fisher? Wait, is that the
I
one who
always
did?
get the 2
I do
confused.
too. I think Isla Fisher might have married Sacha Baron
So
Cohen.
maybe it was her.
Anyway, all
So
right,
I
let's
take
do your
that back.
final question, and then I
Either
gotta
way,
put
because
these
this is one
crazies
of
to
my
bed.
favorite movies. What romantic comedy graced us with Hugh Grant singing "Pop Goes My Heart" as part of the popular duo Pop? That is one of my all-time favorite movies. I forgot this when we talked earlier.
Oh my gosh.
Holy
Yes, and I
smokes.
can picture him singing it, and
Goes my
was it
heart.
Drew Barrymore in there with him? No.
Yes, yes, it
It
was. Yes,
was. Okay, so okay, and it was oh, uh, I also like The Proposal. There are so many. Now I'm thinking Sandra Bullock
Ooh, that's a
movies.
good one too.
So
Think about like what we're doing is giving you the hint to the name of the movie. I'm singing
oh,
music and lyrics.
yeah, okay. I would have never gotten that.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh.
that movie. I would have never gotten that title.
Such a good movie. And I realize I need that in my life also today after doing these
I
questions.
do. You know what? This is the stuff that makes you. I always feel good when I watch a rom-com, which is why I do it. I think my husband and I also like Hallmark movies. I'm sorry, I'm not ashamed to admit
Love 'em.
it. And it's like another one. It's like you don't know how it ends. I'm like,
Doesn't matter.
you watched like basketball games from the 90s over COVID when there was no live sports that you had seen before. Like, how can you compare this? This is a brand new one. you know? Yeah, he's like, but don't you know what happens? I'm like, of course I know what happens. That is why I watch them. I also want to see
Exactly.
what cookies they're baking, and I want to see which New England town they're going to. Okay.
Uh-huh. I
So,
wanna see the decorations and how they've
yes,
decorated
the
their
light in their
beautiful cottage
kitchen.
cottage. Yeah, I need to know these things. Yeah,
It's important.
Lifetime and Hallmark movies are my jam. So I'm
Mhm,
with you. I am
mhm.
so with you on that. Yeah, there's so many more questions about Love Actually comes in later, The Notebook, The Holiday, all the good stuff. So to be
Yes,
continued,
yes.
next part, we've got so many other great things we can talk about. But
Yay.
everybody, thanks for sticking with us through
Yes,
this
thank you.
craziness. Yeah, Christine, anything you want to say to everybody before you take off with your little ones?
No, just thanks for tuning in and just, anybody who is interested in the ALS community, I just applaud you and thank you because I know that you're out there um, helping, whether you think you are or not. Just even your interest in being here or listening, there's something that's compelling you to do it, which means that you are putting that out into the world, and that's just going to make a difference for everyone who experiences this disease in some form or another.
Perfectly said. Well, on that note, Christine, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for all the amazing work that you do with the chapter on the board and for continuing to fight for ALS awareness.
It is my pleasure. So
absolutely.
We'll
see you back again.
Yes.
Some heart conversations.
Yes. We have a lot of people join for that one, I feel. Or maybe just
mark your calendars, guys. You will not want to miss that. Who knows what could come from this.
It's going to happen.
You don't want to miss it. Well, Christine, we will catch you again very soon. Have fun with those little ones.
I will. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.